In this video, we are going to learn about adding and subtracting decimals. So when adding and subtracting decimals, there's one rule that you must follow, and you must line up your decimal. That makes sure, we do that because we want to make sure that we're adding the values, the different place values, with the other similar place values. For example, we want to add up tenths with tenths and hundredths with hundredths, and so on. We also have the words sum and difference. Sum and difference are fancy words for addition and subtraction. So you might see these in a word problem or in a sentence. So sum is a fancy word for addition. They might say, what is the sum of 2 and 3? And that would be 2 plus 3, which is 5. And difference is fancy for subtraction. So they might say, what is the difference between 5 and 1? And you would subtract and you get 4. Okay, so in this first question, we're adding three different numbers. So what we're going to do is we are going to write them down. And it's important that we write neat so it's easy to see where we line up our numbers. 1.38. And what we do is we put filler zeros in so that it's easy to see. And I'm going to do it in another color just so that we can see what we're doing. Okay, and we're adding. Okay, so 6 plus 0 is 6. 8 plus 2 is 10, so I'm going to do 0, carry the 1. 7 and 3 is 10, plus 1 is 11, so 1, carry the 1. I'm going to start at the top. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. And then 0 plus 1 plus 0 is 1. It's important that we also bring down our decimal place in exactly where it was. So the answer for this question is 19.106, or how we would say that in words is 19 and 106 thousandths. Okay. In the second example, we're going to talk about estimation. And it's really important to learn how to do estimation and estimation correctly. And the reason I say that is because a question might say, or I will ask like in class or on a test, is your answer reasonable? And that's especially important when we're doing word problems. Is it reasonable or reasonability? Reasonability. Okay. So we're going to round each one of these to the nearest whole to estimate. So right here we have 0.84, and we're going to round to the nearest whole, so we're looking to the right. 8 is above 5, so we're going to round this up to 1. Okay? The second one is 2.0, so we're just going to keep that as 2. And this third one, 3.32, we're looking at that 3. So is that lower or higher? And it is lower, so we're going to keep that as 3. Okay? So 1 plus 2 plus 3. 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 plus 3 is 6. So the estimation here is 6. Now we're going to do the actual answer. And our exact answer should be really close to 6. We shouldn't end up with a number like 16 or 18 or any crazy number. Our answer it could be maybe 5 point something, it could be like 7 point something, but nothing too far. So let's find out what it is. We have 0.84, we have 2.0, and I'm going to add another 0 there, and then 3.32. So we have 4 and 2, which is 6, 8 plus 3, which is 11, so 1, carry the 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then bring our decimal. So our answer here is 6.16, and that's very close to our estimated answer, which was 6. So that's reasonable. In the next problem, we are going to subtract. So we have 8.9 minus 7.52. Now it's especially important that we add zeros now because we're going to add it right here, because we have to borrow. So we can't do 0 minus 2, so we need to borrow. So we have our 0 becomes 10, and our 9 becomes 8. 10 minus 2 is 8. and 8 minus 5 is 3. We're also going to bring down our decimal, so I like to do it as I go. When it's time to put it there. And then 8 minus 7, which is 1. So our final answer here is 1.38. A basketball hoop is 46 centimeters across. A basketball is 24.28 centimeters across. What is the difference between those measurements? So now this is where we see that word, that fancy word is difference. And difference, as we said before, means subtraction. So let's estimate. If we have the basketball hoop, which is 46, and we're finding the difference, well, we got a crazy number for the basketball. So let's just kind of take that number and estimate it real quick. So 24.28 rounds to 24. So our estimated answer is 22. Okay. Now let's find out the exact, because the exact takes a bit more work because we probably will have to borrow. 24.28. Okay. And we have to borrow. So 0 minus 8 we can't do, so we need to borrow. And when we're borrowing from the left, if it's not a number that we can lower, it becomes a 9. And then we would have to borrow from this one as well to lower it to 5. So 10 minus 8 is 2. 9 minus 2 is 7. We're at the decimal, so I'm going to put it now. 5 minus 4 is 1, and 4 minus 2 is 2. Now we'll see the answer is here, 21.72. It is lower than our estimation, but that's okay because 21.72 does round to 22, so they're pretty close.